Wembley. Back to you.
Right. You're right about that, Pam. All right, we are set. The Chiefs won the toss and elected to defer. Cairo Santos kicks it off, and we're underway in Wembley. Amir Abdullah 9 yards deep as the ball bounced past him, and it is a touchback, and the Lions will start from the 20-yard line. Matthew Stafford leading his team onto the field in his 85th start as quarterback of the Detroit Lions. That is a franchise record. And certainly he is the key focal point of the coaching change, the assistant coaching change, and the coordinator taking over.
Well, look, Jim Caldwell's first comment on the coaching change is the guy with the ball in his hands, the quarterback, he's got to be comfortable. This change was made to make Matthew Stafford play even better.
And he's passing on first down. Outside of Calvin Johnson, makes the grab, steps out of bounds for a first down just across the 30. This has been some kind of week for the Lions. Big shakeup, and then the travel to London. And what do you make of all of this as far as the players go, John?
Well, it's been a lot. It's a lot to take in a week, but Jim Bob Cooter knows that as well. There he is, and he understands he can't make wholesale changes. It's going to be more emphasis on certain things that he feels they do the best.
Joyce Bell is the running back, and he carries. Good hold. Bell breaks through, turns it into a big gainer, and he's shoved out of bounds near the 35-yard line. Make it to 37, a gain of 32.
One of the things that Jim Bob Cooter talked about, we've got to be a better team running the football. And right there, you see that run develop with Joyce Bell. He hasn't been healthy of late. They get the run game going early.
For the Lions, their longest run of the season, 32 yards. Bell remains in. Both of these teams, their defenses are prone to giving up the big plays. Here's Joyce Bell lowering his head, going straight ahead down the 36-yard line. For the Lions, the run game is down at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, you know, and for the New England Patriots, they throw the ball because they like throwing the ball, and they're really good at it. The Lions are good at it, but they're doing it because they're playing from behind, and they've got to change that. They've got to change that by starting faster and sticking with the run throughout the game.
3 wide receivers in. Joyce Bell remains the running back. Stafford with time and completes to Golden Tate down on the 31-yard line. Golden Tate, a very valuable receiver, sometimes underrated because he's overshadowed by Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, but he's a Pro Bowl caliber receiver. He's a guy who's great with the ball in his hands, and that's one thing Jim Caldwell talked a lot about this week. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of screens to him. He's a great runner with the ball in his hands.
Theo Riddick is now the running back. He's second amongst running backs in receiving. Only Danny Woodhead of San Diego has caught more passes than Theo Riddick. Stafford with time, throws, and the catch is made down at the 25-yard line by the tight end Eric Ebron. It's a first down. Ebron, a good job going down to the ground to make the catch.
See Eric Ebron, Terry talked about him in the pregame show. He's a guy they want more involved as well. You're seeing less shifting and personnel changes and a higher tempo for this Lions offense. Something Jim Bob Cooter, when you look at his history, he's been with the Indianapolis Colts, he's been with the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. A lot of up-tempo teams, that's what he believes in. And expect to see that more of that from the Lions as time goes by.
Gain of 3 on the last run by Theo Riddick. Now do they go empty backfield? Riddick split way out to the left side. Pressure on Stafford, gets rid of it, flag on the play, the pass off the hands of Eric Ebron. Check out the flag. Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the Triplett
Hands to the face, number 39 in the defense. The 5-yard penalty, be a first down.
Hussein Abdullah, the safety, called for the hands to the face. And it's a first down at the 17-yard line. Started to say the Chiefs had a strong defensive game against Pittsburgh, albeit Landry Jones, the quarterback for the Steelers, but it was a strong effort. Theo Riddick remains in at running back for the Lions. Riddick carries a couple of yards inside the 15.
Sam, you were alluding to that Chiefs defense, and what they did, they played great team defense last week. All year long, Justin Houston, you have 20-plus sacks, you're going to get a lot of attention, and he has been. He's been doubled by everyone. He's been chipped, and so someone else has to come alive in the pass rush. Tamba Hali, the guy who's done it for a long time for the Kansas City Chiefs, he came alive with 2 huge sacks in the fourth quarter to help them win that game.
Once again, empty backfield with Riddick, the running back, split far out to the left side. On 2nd and 6, Stafford in trouble, down he goes. First sack of the game, and it belongs to Ron Parker, the safety.
One of the things, Sam, when you're in an empty set, you have to get rid of the football. And watch Matthew Stafford look and collect the ball. You've got to get rid of it if it's not there. Otherwise, you're going to get sacked. With the empty set, something that they're emphasizing with Jim Bob Cooter, you've got to get rid of the football quickly.
Ball back to the 17, 3rd and 10 for the Lions. With Joique Bell, the running back. Off the fake, quick outside to Theo Riddick, and Riddick brought down at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Justin Houston dropped back in coverage.
Really nice job by this Chiefs defense. You're going to throw these screens behind the line of scrimmage. You got to get people to the ball. Justin Houston rushes the passer, then turns around, redirects, and makes the tackle.
So the Lions will attempt a 35-yard field goal. Matt Prater is the kicker. Sam Martin, the holder. The long snapper is Don Muhlbach. And the kick is right through. The Lions take the opening kickoff, put 3 points on the board. Matthew Stafford leading the way down the field. The Lions get 3. Beautiful day here in London. The Lions getting on the board first. Packed house here at Wembley Stadium. Very impressive, John.
A lot of excited fans, a lot of Chiefs fans, and I guess if you give free beer in London, they're going to become Chief fans. That's what the Chiefs did this week.
Nice. Sam Martin kicks it off. Niall Davis, 6 yards deep, brings it out. Davis gets away from a couple of men. Outstanding return by Niall Davis up to the 43-yard line. And the Chiefs set up in good field position. Niall Davis gets the crease and breaks it. 49-yard return.
The sport, and you see fans of all different teams.
Chiefs on offense for the first time, and Albert Wilson takes the short pass from Alex Smith. He plays whistle to a halt. Big key for the Kansas City Chiefs, John, is settling on that offensive line. They continue to have changes, another change this week, and protecting Alex Smith.
Well, Alex Smith was beat up early in this year, and that offensive line was largely to blame. Andy Reid talked about he really felt it was their best week as a unit last week. Unfortunately, they suffered an injury to their left guard, Ben Grubbs, so now Jeff Allen moves over to left guard and Ja Reed in at the right tackle position.
With 2 backs in there, Smith pumping over the middle first, went outside and it was broken up. Strong defensive play by Darius Slay, who was covering Jeremy Maclin. Maclin just back after missing last week.
Yeah, and expect Darius Slay. Rashean Mathis out today, scratched and inactive, and Darius Slay, expect him to be shadowing Jeremy Maclin, the Chiefs' top receiver who missed last week with a concussion.
3rd and 5. Make it 3rd and 4 for the Chiefs. Charkandrick West is the running back. Had a big game last week, rushed for 110 yards against the Steelers. All receivers out. Short pass complete to Kelce. Travis Kelce, the tight end, pulls his way down to the 35-yard line. He's become a tremendous weapon for the Chiefs.
Yeah, he really is. Last year, we knew him as a talent. This year, he's becoming one of the top tight ends. One of these matchup nightmares. You see Stephen Tulloch, the linebacker, try to hang with him. He can't. Kelce runs like a receiver, catches it like a receiver, and then runs like a running back once he has it in his hands. He's a tough matchup for the Detroit Lions.
Yards after the catch, a big number for Travis Kelce. 15-yard pickup, first down at the 35. Here's Charkandrick West, brought down short of the line of scrimmage. Storylines for the Chiefs. One of the things that we found in talking to the Chiefs on Friday at their practice here in London is they're all positive. They're really upbeat about their team.
Well, they feel like they have some momentum going. They played well in their minds at the end of the Minnesota game in the second half. Last week against Pittsburgh, they put 4 quarters. They've got Macklin back, and they very much still believe they're in this thing. As I said in the open, they understand that this game's absolutely essential if they want to keep that belief.
The handoff to Charkandrick West gets about 3 yards, maybe 4, down to the 32-yard line. Charkandrick West taking over for Jamal Charles, who we saw a few weeks ago in the game against Chicago tear up his knee. He's undergone ACL surgery, and he hopes to be ready for training camp next season.
And look, Jamal Charles, one of the great talents at the running back position in this league, but Charkandrick West comes in last week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, who typically play the run very well, puts 110 yards on them in the run game.
On 3rd and 7. Alex Smith short to Travis Kelce. Another first down. The big tight end, again, tough to cover. Josh Wilson was on him, but no match.
Well, Kelce's going to run a simple shallow cross across the field. They tried the linebacker early. Now they put a cornerback on him. A little traffic there, and Kelce outruns the cornerback, Josh Wilson. This guy has big-time talent at that position, and Alex Smith understands he's got to feed him.
Kelce 6'5", 260. Josh Wilson 5'9", 187. D'Anthony Thomas in at wide receiver. And he's in motion. Handoff to West. Inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. The Chiefs have been a team that's gotten into the red zone okay, but once they get in there, they can't seem to get into the end zone.
And I think they got the weapons with Macklin and Kelce, and now some of these other receivers, Albert Wilson, D'Anthony Thomas, and Conley that you just mentioned, they're starting to come alive. I think you got to be a little more aggressive. Take some shots to the end zone as opposed to the small ball that they've been playing thus far this season in the red zone.
Got Anthony Sherman in at fullback. Smith feels pressure, takes off with a lot of room. Slides at the 10-yard line. First down for the Chiefs.
Remember, Alex Smith is a guy that played in the zone read offense under Urban Meyer at Utah. He has the ability. You see all that green grass. He says, I'll go ahead and take that. And he gets the line to gain before he takes a little slide.
The ball is right on the 10-yard line, so it is first and goal at the 10 for the Chiefs. A motion, D'Anthony Thomas. He goes the other way and takes the handoff. With a couple of blockers, he's in, touchdown! We saw them in practice Friday working on that play, and it's perfectly timed. D'Anthony Thomas takes it in, and the Chiefs grab the lead.
Andy Reid talked about it with D'Anthony Thomas. He's got so much speed. Get him the ball as much as you can, as fast as you can. They want him with the ball in space. Watch Brian Parker, the tight end with the beautiful block line, Travis Lewis and D'Anthony Thomas. just jogs into the end zone. That's tremendous execution. They get by Ziggy Ansah. You've got the two blockers, Kelsey and Parker out front. That's really well executed by the Chiefs.
Second career rushing touchdown for DeAnthony Thomas. His second touchdown of the season as one receiving. Extra point for Cairo Santos is good. The Chiefs start off with a great kickoff return of 49 yards, finish it off with a 10-yard touchdown run by DeAnthony Thomas.
You see DeAnthony Thomas, and they're having fun just utilizing him, but then the key blocks by the two tight ends, Kelsey and Parker. Ziggy Ansah frozen. There's your two blockers out in front, and it's just an easy jaunt into the end zone for DeAnthony Thomas.
Two good drives to start the game. Lions had a 10-play drive, settled for a field goal. Chiefs had a 9-play drive and scored the touchdown. Kickoff brought out by Amir Abdullah. And he is upended. Beautiful play by Sorensen, Daniel Sorensen. Calvin Johnson. Johnson has 43 receptions this season, 8th in the NFL. Lions from the 13, Joyke Bell, the running back. Strong run up to the 20. They're trying to establish the run, aren't they, John?
Well, your quarterback, we talked about it last week. Matthew Stafford got hit 13 times, sacked 7 times. So what's the best friend to protect your quarterback? The run game, and you have to establish it. They haven't been running it enough. He said last week they got to 18 times. This week they'd like to be 25 plus in terms of running the football. Then you can get Matthew Stafford some time back to throw the football.
Stafford rolling under pressure, throws it away. Josh Bauga and Dante Poe with pressure on Matthew Stafford. Poe is playing at nose tackle. Mike DeVito, the veteran defensive end, was left home with a concussion. And Poe is playing at nose tackle. Jay Howard is shifted over to defensive end. 3rd and 3 for the Lions. And they go empty backfield again. Up. What an outstanding break on the ball by Hussein Abdullah.
That's an outstanding play by Hussein Abdullah. He's going to be right here in the slot. They go with a 3-man rush. Justin Houston drops out. He just reads the eyes of Stafford, goes and makes a nice breakup of the pass. Really nice job by Hussein Abdullah.
Sam Martin will punt it away. Anthony Thomas is deep. Good high punt. Thomas was hit while he was on the ground at the 29-yard line. On carry with the hit. Chiefs defense does a good job. In London, and that man still dreams about playing for the Lions. The great Barry Sanders.
Yeah, you talk about dreams. He gives me nightmares still because I used to have to try to tackle him, and try is the key word in that sentence.
It was great to see him come over and do some football clinics here in London. Chiefs starting from the 29, and a good opening run by Charkendrick West. West is a second-year man from Abilene Christian. Andy Reid raves about his work ethic and how hard he's worked to get into this position.
Well, they all rave about him. Talking to Alex Smith the other day, he just says you feel good with him in there. We lost Jamal, but you felt confident in Charkendrick West and his ability to just pick up the slack. And we're not going to replace Jamal, but they feel like they've got a pretty good alternative.
2nd and 1, set up the screen pass to West, but he stopped. Stephen Tulloch read it beautifully, the middle linebacker, and stopped him before he ever got started.
You watch Stephen Tulloch. When you're in man-to-man defense, this is what you have to do to a screen. You've got to go and get it. If you wait, you're going to get blocked. He doesn't. He goes and gets it, and a great tackle by Stephen Tulloch, just facing him up and making a good, solid tackle.
Loss of 3 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 4 for the Chiefs.
Hey, come here, come on.
Alex Smith in trouble, and they got him. Devin Taylor, the first man to get there, number 98. And then the rest of the Lions finished it off.
Look, the initial pressure is going to come from Jason Jones.
Injured player on the field, Josh Wilson, who was the nickel corner on the last play, shaken up. There's Jason Jones. You talked about him up front.
You see the pressure coming from over on this side, Jason Jones, and then it's going to be Devin Taylor who comes and finishes Alex Smith.
So the Chiefs are forced to punt after the Lions respond well defensively. Dustin Colquitt to kick it away. Golden Tate back deep. Colquitt, a low wobbly kick. Tate takes it at the 33. Makes a couple of moves. Flag on the play. Hussein Abdullah on the tackle of Golden Tate. And we'll check out the flag. 39-yard punt for Dustin Colquitt. Jeff Triplett.
During the return, illegal blocking the back. Number 30 is the return team. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
That'll set the Lions back to their 24-yard line. What a day we have. After this game, we've got a full day of football followed by Game 5 of the World Series at Citi Field in New York. The Mets must win to stay alive. They let the game get away from them last night. They were up 3-1, lost 5-3. The Royals could win the World Series tonight. Wow.
Unbelievable job by the Royals. Now the Mets got their three best pitchers. You got Harvey, Syndergaard, and DeGrom coming at you if you're the Royals, but they've handled that well.
Amir Abdullah on the carry. Nice cutback. It's up to the 27-yard line. Pick of 3 on the play. Hussein Abdullah, no relation, and Josh Mauga. The tackles will give him 4 on the play. Hurry up offense as the Lions up the tempo. 3 wide receivers in. Stafford gets time, and the pass off the hands of Eric Ebron. Looked like a catchable ball.
It was very much a catchable ball. That ball was put on Ebron. Looks like he struggled to pick that football up for whatever reason. But you can see the emphasis on getting your star players. Not as much shifting of personnel groups. They're keeping the same personnel group and really trying to highlight their stars. They're struggling, though, keeping these drives going after that first initial drive.
Theo Riddick in the backfield, an excellent receiver. On 3rd and 6. The blitz coming, and they got it. 2 men blitzing on the play. Derek Johnson gets there.
See Derek Johnson. He's going to come on a delayed blitz, and they bring more than they can protect. Matthew Stafford has to get rid of that football. He doesn't see the blitz. He doesn't have a receiver open downfield. And Derek Johnson says, thank you very much.
Second sack of the game for the Chiefs. And the time winds down. We've reached the end of the first quarter. Both Ebron explaining to Matthew Stafford why he dropped that pass. Sam Martin with a good high punt. Anthony Thomas looking for some running room. Doesn't find any. Well covered by the Lions as he's down at the 27. This is a classic stadium which has such great history. The FA Cup final 1923, the Olympics of 1948, England's World Cup victory in 1966. They're still celebrating. Live Aid concert featuring U2 and everybody. And then the Giants with Michael Strahan, our Michael Strahan, in the first regular season game played at Wembley in 2007.
It's just a shame Strahan's still asleep, so he can't see himself on TV.
Give him the wake-up call. From the 27, Alex Smith takes off. A lot of running room. And he keeps going down the sideline. What a run by Alex Smith. Out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
Well, I tell you what, this is great mobility by Alex Smith. This is poor defense, though. You see the huge void. When you're playing good team defense, there shouldn't be that kind of void, and you should never get outrun by a quarterback like the Lions defense just did. This defense is strong up front. The linebacker and back end have been struggling mightily, and we're starting to see it on the field here in Wembley.
Longest run of the season for the Chiefs, 49 yards. Alex Smith puts it up this time a little too low for Travis Kelce, the tight end.
You know, Sam, and you got to wonder, you look offensively, Joe Lombardi, very nice man, and it was tough for Jim Caldwell to fire him, but the production wasn't there, and when you look at the talent they have on their offense, the production should be there. I look at this Lions defense, absent of Ezekiel Ansah, Glover Quinn, the safety, I don't see a whole lot of talent on this defense.
And they're missing their star linebacker, DeAndre Levy, who's been out all season. And may not get a chance to play. On this run, Charcandrick West stopped short of the line of scrimmage at the 25-yard line. There's DeAndre Levy, who has not played at all this season and continues to be inactive.
DeAndre Levy, just an essential cog at that linebacker position. He made that level of defense stronger. And without him, they've been very much struggling. The front plays well, Ezekiel Ansah, Haloti Ngata, but the back end has struggled mightily, and that linebacker core has almost been invisible.
Have to get to the 14 for a first down. And jumping across with the Lions, Jason Jones and Devin Taylor, the defensive ends, fired across. There's Jeff Triplett.
Encroachment. Defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Let's quickly go to the sideline to Pam Oliver.
Well, Sam, Lions then at cornerback now have to deal with another injury. Nickel cornerback Josh Wilson, he is questionable with a neck injury. He's being evaluated in the locker room. Back to you.
Thanks for the update, Pam. Should I call her Lady Pam?
The Pam Oliver it is over here.
Okay. Everybody out, the receivers that is. Here's Charcandrick West inside the 15. He's got enough for the first down. Ziggy Ansah chased him down, but not before he picked up enough for the first down at the 12-yard line. A gain of 8.
That's a lot to ask of Ziggy Ansah. We saw an incredible effort play last week, effort and talent when he chased down Adrian Peterson, but asking Ziggy Ansah to drop and cover Charcandrick West in space is a lot to ask of a defensive end.
First down at the 12-yard line. Two tight ends in. Demetrius Harris to the left. Travis Kelce right. Smith gets time. Throws short off the hands of Harris, incomplete. Covered on the play by James Ehedebo, the safety.
Demetrius Harris is a guy that they really like in Kansas City. They use a lot of 3 tight end sets. Today we're seeing Brian Parker, who we saw with the tremendous block on that D'Anthony Thomas touchdown earlier. But a lot of Butter on the hands over here in London thus far.
2nd and 10. West motions. Smith gets time. Too high for Charkendrick West. He had Travis Kelce wide open in the end zone. Didn't see him.
You know, I think that's the one thing that you would like to see if you're going to comment and constructively criticize this Chiefs offense is down in this red zone. Alex Smith always thinks short to deep. Sometimes you got to think deep and then check down to short. And I think that would behoove them because they have the weapons to do it. And Kelce, the guy that you just mentioned, was open in that end zone.
On 3rd and 10. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers in the game. All receivers out. Smith in trouble. Takes off again. 10, 5, touchdown. Chiefs running it again.
Well, and Alex Smith is beating the Lions with his legs, with his mobility, and you just should not see. You watch Alex Smith, they're going to get all the receivers out, so everybody's in coverage. Alex Smith says, man-to-man coverage, I see all that green grass. I'm going to take off and run, and that's what those eyes are looking at. He's looking down, he sees nothing but green, and says, why not? It worked earlier, let's make it work again.
Is somebody usually designated to watch the quarterback, John?
Someone usually is, and right now apparently they don't have that.
So the Chiefs take advantage of some room. Alex Smith takes off on a 12-yard run, and the Chiefs lead 14-3.
Lots of fans. We've got them all. Pittsburgh, Philly,
Great.
Atlanta in there. They're all over.
Alex Smith, 12-yard touchdown run. He already has 69 yards rushing in the game. That's a career high for him. That was his 7th career rushing touchdown. The kickoff by Cairo Santos. Samir Abdullah on the return. Slipped one man, gets across the 20 and up to the 22-yard line.
Now I want you to take a look at this and watch everybody in coverage. Right here, you see Travis Lewis. Everybody with their backs turned to Alex Smith. Nobody spying on Alex Smith. He sees all the green grass and he says, thank you very much. I'll take that and I'll put 6 points on the board. You better start putting an extra defender. Ihedebo was the extra defender there. He's in the end zone. You better start putting one closer to the line of scrimmage and putting eyes on Alex Smith.
That pass to Golden Tate up close to the 30-yard line. Mark it at the 29. A pickup of 7. Lions, after that opening drive, have been shut down.
Been stymied, and you see Jim Bob Cooter, the new offensive coordinator, trying to go with some no huddle, some tempo to put some juice, to put some energy back in this Lions offense.
Stafford puts it up deep for Calvin Johnson, who was broken up. Nice coverage by Sean Smith, a tall, lanky, I shouldn't say lanky, he's pretty strong. He's 6'3", 218. That's good coverage.
And watch that coverage. Not many guys physically match up with Calvin Johnson. Sean Smith, I wouldn't say it's an equal matchup, but it's about as close as you're going to get. He stands 6'3", 220 pounds. Standing by him, he seems like he's 6'4", and he plays Calvin Johnson about as well as you can. What's impressive about Sean Smith, he'll play the big guys. Last week he's covering Antonio Brown, a smaller and quicker receiver, and did a tremendous job on him as well.
3rd and 2. The feint, the pressure, the pass is intercepted by Smith. Sean Smith with an alert play. The pressure forced a bad throw by Matthew Stafford.
Well, credit this play to Tamba Hali. He's working against Riley Reef over on the left side, makes him whiff, and then Matthew Stafford throws a ball that's really just not smart. You can't do it, and You see in possibly some of the miscommunication of a new offense that's trying to be installed midweek. Tough to do.
7th interception of the season for the Chiefs. First for Sean Smith. And now the Chiefs with excellent field position at the Lions 37. Charkendrick West and Anthony Sherman in the backfield. West behind Sherman. Slips one man. A little stiff arm. And out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Pick up a 5. Darius Slay pushed him out. There's Sean Smith. Having himself a good day. I loved Andy Reid. Andy Reid said, I love this guy. He is highly, he used 3 highlies, intelligent. Except you wouldn't know it if you talked to him.
Well, yeah, Andy's so fun. He loves his players love him. And he's got, as we keep mentioning, a young group that he really thinks are on the verge of cracking through and becoming a winning team.
Good hole, bursting through Charkendrick West, inside the 20 to the 17. And the Chiefs on the move again. Good blocking up front by the left side of the line.
There's a lot of guys, Sam, that on film look good. In person, they look better. You see the nice job by the front of Allen and Morse. But Charkendrick West, he looks better in person. He's got burst, he's got power, he's got everything you want in a running back. And Andy Reid, this offense fits him wonderfully.
7 carries, 37 yards for West. Here's a couple more as he gets down close to the 15-yard line.
Now if you're Andy Reid, Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs, you've got this run game established. Watch for the play action to come now as you start to draw these defenders up. Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator, is now starting to dedicate more resources up front to stop the run of Alex Smith. Now the passing game should open up weapons like Macklin and Kelsey.
3 wide receivers in for the Chiefs. The fake handoff quickly outside to DeAnthony Thomas, but he went to the ground at the line of scrimmage. And right there was Nevin Lawson. Nevin Lawson in his first NFL start with Rasheed Mathis being put inactive. Nevin Lawson in his 9th NFL game, 2nd season in the NFL, his first start.
Pam mentioned that Josh Wilson struggling with a neck injury. Now it's Quandre Diggs that goes into the nickel position inside. So playing a lot of youth at the back end where they've already been struggling.
3rd and 8 for the Chiefs. Alex Smith being rushed, slips one man. His pass deflected and falls incomplete, almost intercepted. Devin Taylor got his big hand up to deflect that pass, but good pressure by the Lions.
Isa Abdul-Quddus darn near had an interception. You see the pressure coming from the left of Alex Smith. Charkendrick West chips on Whitehead. Eric Fisher late to get out. You see the tip ball, and that was a very, very dangerous throw. If not for Charkendrick West almost boxing him out, Quddus could have gone the distance the other way.
Lions defense stiffens. Here's a 33-yard field goal try by Cairo Santos. The man from Brazil puts it right through, and the Chiefs add to their lead. They got the interception by Sean Smith. Another field goal makes it more so with his legs. Running the ball well.
He looks like he's back at the University of Utah under Urban Meyer using those legs, and that's a skill that he has. And I think quarterbacks, when that's there, take it, because all that will do is open up the passing game here later.
Cairo Santos kicks it off. Amir Abdullah from 8 yards deep. Abdullah tripped up, slowed down, and brought down at the 15-yard line. Hey, big news. 1 week from tonight on Fox, Sunday Fun Day returns with an all-new night of smash hits and electrifying comedy. Sunday Fun Day returns next Sunday, November the 8th at 7:30, 6:30 Central on Fox. And they're ready. Is that a carryover from Halloween?
That's Sunday Fun Day right here.
All Oh, what a crowd. Great, great crowd. What a great day here in London. Lions from the 15. Joique Bell, no room to run. And he's wrestled down. Loss of a yard on the play. Strong defensive work led by Dee Ford. First-round draft pick last year out of Auburn.
You know, Sam, and when you talk about this Lions offense, we've seen them struggle. I talked about the deficiencies on the Lions defense. There's no talent deficiency on this offense. And so Jim Caldwell looks at it and he tries to do something with the coaching. We're seeing him here sputter. At a certain point, it's on the players to go out and execute the job and to do it at a high level. They aren't getting it done right now.
3 wide receivers in. Corey Fuller is in. Here's Joique Bell bursting through. Got to the second level. Hard, strong run by Joique Bell for a first down.
You aren't joking, hard, strong run. And you hear that pop when Eric Berry came up. Look at the job up front. And this helps these offensive linemen. Warford with the nice block pulling. Look at that finish to the run. Joique Bell running through the Chiefs defense. Jim Bob Cooter told us in our meetings, we will stick with the run more than we have been. We have to protect our quarterback.
5 carries, 52 yards for Joique Bell. First down, Lions at the 27. Off the play fake, Stafford. Calvin Johnson. First down up at the 44-yard line.
So when you run the football, all of a sudden you get space for Calvin Johnson, who gets so much attention. The linebackers are drawn up. There's the void behind the linebackers. There's a case, as we were talking about the Chiefs, you run the football well, the linebackers respect the run, a lot of space behind them for the pass.
Gain of 17 yards, giving Calvin Johnson over 11,000 yards receiving in his NFL career. From the 44, Stafford gets protection, the pass tipped, intercepted. Justin Houston with the second interception of the game by the Chiefs. Ron Parker deflected the ball up in the air. Houston was there to make the catch and the interception. Chiefs take over.
Stafford, we'll show you after this play, you can't throw the football late across the middle down the field in this league, or that will happen.
Chiefs from their own 48-yard line. Smith with time, puts it up, and it's off the hands of Jeremy Maclin. He was covered by Darius Slay.
You go back to the pick, you're going to see Matthew Stafford's eyes. Initially, he wants Calvin Johnson to his left. He decides better. Now you have to check it down or throw it away. Instead, he goes over the middle. Ron Parker, a tremendous break on the football, and Justin Houston, he does it all. He'll sack the quarterback, he'll intercept it, but now Matthew Stafford, another interception, Sam. 2
in the game, 11 for the season. That's the most of any quarterback in the league. 2nd and 10 for Justin Houston. It was his second career interception. Niall Davis in at running back. Quick outside to Anthony Thomas. Turns it into a nice game. Picks up a couple of blocks. Nice moves by DeAnthony Thomas down to the 29-yard line. Jeff Allen with a big block for him.
Jeff Allen with the big block. Jeremy Maclin. Watch Maclin, their top receiver. Selfless, blocking Josh Wilson. That creates the seam, and watch the burst by DeAnthony Thomas. We saw it from him in college. You know, talking to the Chiefs coaches, what is he? Is he a running back? Is he a slot? Is he a receiver? And they finally decided he's all of them. And that's how we're going to utilize him. We've seen him run him in the end zone. Now we've seen him throw it to him in space.
That was a 23-yard gain on that last play. Quick outside. The tight end, Travis Kelce, Stephen Tulloch in on the stop. Down at the 27-yard line. Once again, the Chiefs threatening to score. They have moved the ball well offensively with 170 total yards. Josh Wilson, who is shaking up his back for the Detroit Lions, so that's a positive sign. Smith, quick outside. Albert Wilson wrestled down by Devin Lawson. Short pickup down the 21-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and short for the Chiefs.
Sam, something that stands out to me, Eric Fisher is a guy, 2013 was the #1 pick in the draft. He's taken a lot of heat for his poor play in his career. I think in the last couple of games, he's starting to become the player they thought they would when they drafted him there. Playing really well, athletic. He's got Ziggy Ansah quiet here today, and that's tough to do. Ezekiel Ansah, one of the better defensive ends in football right now.
On 3rd down, Smith swings it out. Charkendrick West, 1st down, inside the 10, and pulled down at the 7-yard line. Nice play. Glover Quinn with a tackle on Charkendrick West.
Well, everything's just working. Watch the center, Morse. He's going to get out front. He's going to make the key block on Josh Wilson. That frees Charkendrick West. They're just one step of the Detroit Lions right now, are Andy Reid and this Kansas City Chiefs offense.
They gained 13 on a 3rd down play. 1st and goal at the 8. West is the running back. Jason Avant motioned. Here's West on the carry. 5 to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown. Third rushing touchdown of the game for the Chiefs. And now Macklin goes nose to nose, face mask to face mask with Josh Wilson. But Charkendrick West with a touchdown.
I tell you, some really good execution on behalf of the Kansas City Chiefs. Some poor defense on the Detroit Lions. They're missing tackles. They're not where they're supposed to be. Just some bad defense being played by these Detroit Lions.
The Chiefs opening up the big lead. The extra point by Cairo Santos is good. The Chiefs have 3 rushing touchdowns in the game. Charkendrick West taking it into the end zone. City. Now, Lions fans, remember last year the Lions were here in Wembley. They trailed Atlanta 21-0 at the half and came back to win the game.
Well, they certainly have the firepower. This is an offense that can put up a lot of points in a hurry, but they've got to start executing and playing better.
Amir Abdullah on the return. Splits one man. Got through. Nice run back. Up to the 26-yard line.
Sam, before that touchdown, we had talked about Eric Fisher and him playing better football and how key that's been to the resurgence. You watch him drive there at the left tackle position. He's driving Fluellen, and he drives him all the way. Charkendrick West, clear path to the end zone. Tremendous job by Eric Fisher.
West's 2nd rushing touchdown this season. Now the Lions need something, a spark right now. Starting from the 26, Joyke Bell. It's up to the 29-yard line. A pick up a 3 on the play. Dontari Poe. Poe is a guy that you've been talking about a lot, John, in the games we've watched with Kansas City, that he's coming back from injury. And when he's healthy, he is a force in there.
Well, I think this defense is different. They've got the strength on the outsides with Justin Houston and Tamba Hali. The inside, Alan Bailey's been playing at a very good level, as has Howard, but Poe is a difference maker. And when he's in there playing dominant football, he's a force to be reckoned with, and it makes them a better defense. He's showing glimpses of getting back to that same guy he was last year.
Stafford fires and completes across the 40 to Golden Tate. Good catch. Ron Parker, the coverage. That was well thrown by Matthew Stafford. 1st down up at the 42-yard line. Stafford 7 for 13, 59 yards, but 2 interceptions thrown in the game. And the Chiefs have turned those interceptions into 10 points. Theo Riddick gets a couple of yards across the 45-yard line. We've reached the 2-minute warning. This first half here in London has belonged to the Chiefs. They lead it 24-3. 14 points off the 2 interceptions by Matthew Stafford. Lions from the 45 with all 3 timeouts. Stafford completes to Golden Tate. Fights his way down the 43. First down for the Lions. The Chiefs will get the ball to start the second half. So the Lions trying to get something into the end zone, some kind of points here before the half ends. Stafford being blitzed. In trouble, they got him. Ron Parker again. His second sack of the game.
This is what you've seen with the Detroit Lions. When they do get blitzed, they're not picking it up. You got to have a sight adjust. You see the pressure up top. Tamba Hali in his face. Here comes Derek Johnson. There's Ron Parker. Matthew Stafford, you don't have enough blockers to pick it up. You got to get rid of the football on a hot route, and Matthew Stafford again holds it.
The Chiefs have used the timeout, hoping to preserve some time and maybe get the ball back. Lost back to the 48-yard line. Lions have to get to the 33 for a first down. Stafford in trouble. Down he goes again. There's a flag on the play. This time was Tamba Hali breaking off the block and getting the sack.
Number 71 of the offense.
Tamba Hali working against Riley Reef again. And Tamba Hali, we talked about it. Last week he came alive. He's held. He's relentless in his pressure. And boy, does that make them a better defense. You've got Justin Houston on one end, so he's going to get the single team the majority of the time. When he starts winning those every time, this is a different defense.
Riley Reef called on the hold. The Chiefs accept the penalty to push the Lions back further, back to the Detroit 42-yard line. This series started at the Chiefs 43. Theo Riddick in the backfield, still second down for the Lions. Stafford steps up, in trouble again, and down he goes again. Dontari Poe this time takes him down. Well, the Chiefs are all over him.
Yeah, they really are. And you see all these interceptions. Matthew Stafford leading the league in interceptions. It always starts with getting hit. And Matthew Stafford, his sacks aren't near the top of the league, but he's been hit as much as any quarterback in the league. Dontari Poe this time, just pressure right up the gut. You got pressure from the outside. Matthew Stafford holding the football too long. He's been affected greatly by all the hits, the accumulation of hits that he's taken throughout the year. He's not trusting what he's seeing. They try to make a move in the coaching staff to change it, but sometimes, again, it's the players. It's people protecting him, giving this guy who can throw the football extremely well time to do it.
Theo Riddick in the backfield. Third down. They've got to get to the Chiefs 33 for a first down. 3rd and 27. Everybody out. The pass off the hands of Calvin Johnson. Even the reliable Calvin Johnson unable to hang on, and things continue to go badly for the Lions.
Calvin Johnson, even Calvin Johnson, 3rd and 27, couldn't have converted that had he caught it. But the other thing, Jim Bob Cooter is thinking, I can't protect Matthew Stafford long enough to go back and throw it deep. So they're in a quandary. They've got to find a way to get themselves out of it.
Sam Martin just got it away. Big bounce. And Anthony Thomas takes a hit and is brought down at the 20-yard line. Kurt Menefee's back in the studio. What's coming up, Kurt?
Thanks, Sam. The big clock in London is ticking down to the Visa halftime. Terry and Jimmy have their eyes on the key plays so far, so hop on the double-decker bus for today's triple header of football. We'll see you at the half. Sam and John.
Thanks, Kurt.
That's a great way to see the city. You told me that. You can hop on and hop off the tourist bus.
It's an incredible tour right through the city. Great tour guides. I mean, it's just so much history in this city. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place to visit.
How about all the great statues and monuments they have here?
Incredible.
Fabulous. Now, the Chiefs. One timeout remaining from their own 21-yard line. Looking to set up the screen. It wasn't there. Sliding down for a loss is Alex Smith. Down at the 19-yard line, and players get upset. Somebody hit Alex Smith. Looks like Ziggy Ansah might have gotten a piece of him, and Alex is upset about it.
See Alex Smith get up and get pushed from Ziggy Ansah, and you love the fight of Alex Smith, but I don't think he wins that battle with Ziggy Ansah. That's wise of those linemen to get in between them.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense. After this is the goal, it's second down.
See Ezekiel Ansah, the takedown looks rather innocuous. Alex Smith says, "Get your hands off me." Ezekiel Ansah didn't like it, and the scuffle ensued.
And the penalty called on a little helmet-to-helmet contact initiated by Alex Smith, and that brought the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Chiefs.
Andy Reid, you know, one of the things he shared with us, Sam, early in the year, he didn't see the fight that he's always had in his teams, that he had in Philly, last year in Kansas City. Talking about the offensive line primarily, but it extends to the quarterback position. I'm sure Andy Reid not happy with that, but doesn't mind it in the back of his mind. He's seeing fight from his team.
And off to Charkandrick West. He stopped. Flags come in. Jason Jones on the tackle. And we'll check out the flags.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 91 in the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
The tackle, but the grab of the face mask by Jason Jones.
The Lions are just in one of those funks where every time you get something good going, something bad happens. And the only way to get yourself out of it is to emphasize it, to do it repeatedly, and they have not done it all year. That's why they're a 1-6 football team coming into today. You see Jason Jones with a handful of face masks of Charkandrick West.
Chiefs, 26 seconds, one timeout. Looks like they'll let time run out. Chiefs will get the ball to start the second half. They have dominated the first half. Their runs have been outstanding. 126 yards rushing in the first half, led by Alex Smith, who had a career-high 49-yard run. It's 24-3 Chiefs at halftime. We go to Kurt Menefee in the studio. Numbers for Alex Smith's pass. His passing, as John mentioned, only 79 yards, but he's run for 68 yards, including a 49-yard run and then a 12-yard run for a touchdown. Charkandrick West has had another good game, good first half. The Lions have to find their game. Can they make the adjustments? We'll see what kind of adjustments they make when they get the ball. The kickoff to start the second half. Anthony Thomas on the return. Leaps over one man, gets across the 20, down at the 24. Pam Oliver's along the sideline. Pam.
Hey there, Sam. Walked out with Jim Caldwell. We talked defense first. I asked him, what do you do to impact Alex Smith? He said, first of all, we just got to get more pressure on him, make him pass from the pocket. Andy Reid, meantime, let me tell you about the Lions offense first. He said, those two Stafford picks made things look a little bit worse than they actually are. He actually likes how the team is fighting. Andy Reid, meantime, expects the Lions to come out and try to push the ball downfield. They have no choice. He's happy with the way both groups are playing for him. Back to you.
Thanks, Pam. Jeff Triplett. We'll turn the microphone on. There we go.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team, number 30. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Josh Wilson called for the unsportsmanlike conduct, and that cost the Lions 15 yards. Alex Smith gets his team set. after both teams have a bye week next week, and for Kansas City, they come out of the bye week and go to Denver, but and then they've got a game at San Diego as well. But they feel that their schedule will kind of level off after that. Charcandrick West, the running back, takes the handoff. Slip one man, gets across the 40 to the 41. Darius Slay and Ziggy in on the stop. Three different players rushing for touchdowns. Second time in team history, going back to the old AFL and the Dallas Texans.
It's pretty good.
Anthony Thomas with one of those rushing touchdowns. Charcandrick West and Alex Smith the others. Smith wanted to put it up, goes short to West. Got away from one man. And stretching out for that first down marker, he comes up a little bit short. Coming up a third and less than a yard.
You know, and right there, I think you kind of see the story of the game. Here's a one-on-one matchup. Nevin Lawson, you got to make that tackle. Charcandrick West instead fights for the positive yardage. Now you're at a 3rd and 1 situation. Really, if you're the Lions, you're saying we should be in a 3rd and 9. That's the difference. Blocking and tackling, it still comes down to the fundamental things. The Chiefs are doing them well. The Lions are not.
Anthony Sherman is in at fullback. Niall Davis, the running back, takes the pitch, turns the corner, got it first down out of bounds in Lions territory. Niall Davis hasn't seen a whole lot of action in recent weeks, with Charcandrick West taking over from Jamal Charles.
Now, if you're Travis Lewis, you got to put an edge on this defense. Instead, he doesn't contain. Niall Davis can simply run outside. Sherman knocks him on his tail. And so again, fundamental things. If you're supposed to be the contained player, be the contained player. The Lions falling short in the fundamental part of the game.
Kelsey, Macklin, and Wilson to the right side. The handoff to Charcandrick West. Down to the 45-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. Stephen Tullokin on the tackle.
You know, Sam, when you're around Charcandrick West, he's only about 5'10", 205 pounds, and he doesn't even feel to be that big, but he runs with authority. He runs with power. He breaks tackles, and we saw earlier how talented he is in space, and so he's a tough package. Again, you're not going to have Jamal Charles because he's a unique talent, but Charcandrick West doing a nice job of stepping in and giving them a very viable option.
Jason Avant motion to the left. Alex Smith fires and finds a man. It's trouble and dropped by Travis Kelsey, who can't believe he dropped the football. Quandre Diggs covering on the play.
Well, Kelsey usually so sure-handed. You see the void in the zone, the second window there, right in his hands, and he takes his eyes off to look at the defender. Kelsey usually so sure-handed. Just takes his eyes. You got to look it in.
Now a 3rd and long. There's Diggs coming over to help break up the play.
There's Kelsey in the slot.
Smith being rushed, slipped one man, keeps the play alive, uses his legs again, gets a first down. Leading rusher in the game is Alex Smith.
That's just an outstanding job by Alex Smith. He was under a lot of duress, and he just played Houdini here. You see the rush coming. Ezekiel Ansah getting double-teamed. Alex Smith turning, finding his way out, and Charcandrick West with a tremendous block to allow Smith to get that first down, just staying in front of Whitehead.
9-yard run. Alex Smith, 5 carries, 77 yards. This is Charcandrick West. Down to the 32-yard line. So the Chiefs have run the ball effectively in this game.
They've run it very effectively. and they've been excellent on third down. Now 7 of 9, almost 80% on third down, and that's what happens when you put yourself in advantageous third down situations.
2nd and 6. West with 13 carries, 57 yards. Niall Davison is running back. Smith pass, diving catch, and it is a catch by Jeremy Maclin. Great grab.
Well, there's no butter on these hands of Jeremy Maclin. You see the play action, the effect of it. Maclin works behind, and just a tremendous catch with his hands. Great concentration by Jeremy Maclin. At his fingertips, brings it in with strong hands.
And how about getting that left hand under the ball so it doesn't hit the ground?
Just a really, really nice job.
And now let's see. We have a challenge. Yes, Jim Caldwell is challenging. He thinks the ball did hit the ground on that catch.
Reported challenge ruling on the field as a completed pass.
Looks like he controlled it, but we'll figure it out. Studio looking at this play as well. Mike, what are your thoughts?
We were here nice and early, Sam.
After
and
review,
as I
the
look
ruling
at
on the
this-
field stands. Detroit has charged their first challenge and their first timeout in the second half.
What are your thoughts of
And
the
I think
ruling?
that's exactly what they had to do. He had control of the ball first when he went to the ground. The ball did eventually touch the ground, but he did not lose possession. There was always a hand on the ball. Slight movement is not loss of possession, and that's why they stayed with the call. It's the right decision.
And just so you know, audience, Mike Pereira was on that. And break, he's in our ear. Triplett beat him to the punch, but he was on that as always. Thank
First
you, Mike.
down, Chiefs. Thanks, Mike. From the 21, Sharkhandrick West. Gets a yard on the play. Right now, the Chiefs just playing ball control here to start the second half. They're taking time off the clock. They've got the big lead. The Lions have to find a way to change the momentum of this game.
And Sam, about 4 weeks ago, we had the Chiefs against the Chicago Bears. This was a maligned offensive line. They were getting Alex Smith killed. They were playing football that just was not good. This is a completely different unit. Minus Ben Grubbs, a Pro Bowl left guard.
Smith takes a hit, but gets the pass to Kelsey. Inside the 5, down to the 1-yard line.
And that is toughness personified. That's Alex Smith staring down the gun barrel, knowing he's going to get hit, standing in there anyways, and delivering a strike. That is what Alex Smith has always brought. People say, why is he a winner? He doesn't seem spectacular because of that kind of toughness. Your teammates feed off that. Everyone feeds off that. That was a big-time play by Alex Smith.
Travis Lewis down on the field. We'll be right back.
Delivers an absolutely perfect ball. Tremendous football by Alex Smith.
First and goal at the 2-yard line. 5th trip to the red zone for the Chiefs in the game. Smith outside of Kelsey. Looks for the opening. Touchdown! First passing touchdown of the game for the Chiefs. Smith to Kelsey. And the Chiefs take the second half kickoff and march down the field.
Andy Reid continues to be creative. You see Kelsey right there within the core. You're thinking run if you're the Detroit Lions defense. They sell run, then Kelsey steps back. He's got blockers in front. Again, just great execution. They got man on man, and then Kelsey has to run through one guy. He does that with Tulloch. Chiefs are playing some serious football, and this is an old-fashioned whooping that they're putting on the Detroit Lions.
They have been in the red zone 5 times in the game and come away with 4 touchdowns and 1 field goal. 11-play, 61-yard drive for the Chiefs to start the second half.
Well, Andy Reid wanted more toughness from his team. He saw it last week. We're seeing it from his quarterback. We're seeing it from Travis Kelce. Toughness leads the Chiefs to a great advantage over the Lions.
11 plays, 61 yards, 6 minutes, 21 seconds. And Travis Kelce with his third touchdown reception of the season. Amir Abdullah takes it out. Finds an opening and then gets hit hard as he crossed the 15-yard line. This season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. And we've got a whole day of football coming your way. We've got America's Game of the Week coming your way. Green Bay and Denver. And then Game 5 of the World Series tonight. All on Fox. Stay right where you are. What a great day. Joique Bell had a big run early in the game. Detroit Lions, it's been a strange situation. After their loss to Minnesota, the big change on the offensive side of the ball. Jim Bob Cooter takes over as the offensive coordinator. And then O-line, there you see the new Ron Prince takes over. He was formerly the tight ends coach. He's the O-line coach. Fake the end around. Stafford's pass is over the head of Joique Bell. Flag on the play. We'll check that out. Again, looks like an ineligible receiver downfield against the Lions. Andy Reid says no. Will decline.
And ineligible downfield on a forward pass. Number 75 for the offense. That penalty's declined. Third down.
This is a tough time for Jim Caldwell.
Oh, it's a real tough time. I mean, first of all, it's painstaking. Joe Lombardi, as I mentioned earlier, is a very respected coach in this league. It's not a move that Jim Caldwell wanted to make. It's one he felt like he was forced into making. He tried to shake up the team. Obviously, it hasn't worked thus far today. Long term, you don't know it. Jim Bob Cooter, everything you hear about him from every place he's been is that the guy is brilliant, that they feel he's got an extremely bright future. It's not translating today.
Stafford on third down. The pass broken up by Peters. Marcus Peters stepping in front of the intended receiver, Calvin Johnson. Well done.
Marcus Peters is an exciting young player for the Kansas City Chiefs, going one-on-one with Calvin Johnson. Not an easy task, but he does it well. He's done it well throughout this entire season for the Chiefs.
Stafford to the sideline. Sam Martin. Good high punt. Anthony Thomas at the 30. And he is brought down. Hit hard. Good coverage by the Lions. And here in London, starting to reach sunset. It's been a great day. The weather's been superb. Lions have been here all week, but it hasn't worked out for them. The Chiefs came in very businesslike, John.
Well, they flew in late in the week, Thursday evening, had a quick practice, tried to get assimilated to everything, the time and all that, and boy, they've done it well. They came in, Andy Reid said, this is not a vacation. We're going to smile, we're going to have fun, but this is not a vacation. You can come to London in the off-season, and boy, they're playing well.
We're wearing the poppies for Remembrance Week leading to November 11th, Remembrance Day, in honor of the end of World War I, which was the war to end all wars. People of London have been extremely nice to us. It's been a great time here in London. How'd you like that soccer match you went to?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I tell you, that's one of the things that have been on my bucket list for a long time. And I went to Crystal Palace. Manchester United played them. We were right down in the fifth row amongst everybody singing. I didn't know what they were singing, but they were singing.
They chant all game, don't they?
They sure do.
The handoff, Charkandrick West. With a short game up to the 27-yard line.
You know, one of the thrills was our tape producer, Nick Franklin, lifelong Manchester United fan. And you talk about a kid in a candy store. He had more fun. That made it all good for me.
Andy Reid said, you know what? I'm not into the touring. Don't worry about London. We'll do it another time. I'm here to bring my team and get them ready for a game. And he's gotten them ready. Chiefs with a season high 31 points scored. On third down, movement on the line. It's like Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who's back in at right guard, starting the last couple of games. He started early in the season, then was sat down. Now he's back in there.
Waiting on Jeff Triplett here. I think he's coming. Here he comes.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
But now Andy Reid, he likes to shorten it and call him Larry. Larry got a little antsy there. But Tardif came from Canada, went to McGill University in Montreal, and is a guy that very smart football player, very athletic football player. Got exposed a little early, seeing things he hadn't seen. They've got him back in there. They really like him and think he has a bright future in front of him.
Smith with time, puts it up, and it is bubbled, punched around and fell incomplete. Nevin Lawson almost intercepted.
You're going to see Albert Wilson.
Pass interference. 24, the defense. The ball we placed with the spot of the foul. First down.
There you go.
Well, in America, in London, wherever you are, that's pass interference. He's climbing all over that shoulder of Albert Wilson, competing hard. Nevin Lawson, a second-year player, again starting for Rashean Mathis. And Alex Smith going after the youngster.
Chiefs with a first down at the 37. West, the running back. Outside, Travis Kelce. And he's brought down just across the 40-yard line by James Ehedebo, the safety, a pickup of 4 on the play.
Sam, one of the fun things for me to watch these Kansas City Chiefs is how Andy Reid is utilizing Kelce, and he moves him all over the field. Sometimes he's an end-line tight end. Oftentimes he's spread out, but he's on the left, he's on the right, he's in the slot, he's outside. It's like that old Where's Waldo, and it's Where's Kelce. And that's by design, because you have a great weapon, you want to hide him, and you want to not let them key and double on him.
All receivers out. He goes short to West. Flag on the play. Excuse me, that's the Anthony Thomas, who was lined up in the backfield. Check out the flag. Thomas brought down just short of the first down.
He going to use the hands. Hands number 24, the defense. The 5-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Second consecutive penalty charged to Nevin Lawson. Lawson is second year, as John mentioned, out of Utah State. 7 penalties in the game for the Lions.
What's important for these Detroit Lions players, you get a turnover here, maybe get some life back in your team, but you finish. Believe me, this team's on notice right now. I've been here on teams like this. Everyone's taking notes. Who's playing hard? Who's finishing everything they do?
Kyle Davis, nothing there. Lions do a good job up front. Drop down at the 45-yard line. Andre Fluellen on the stop, loss of a yard. Lions rotating up front. Haven't called Haloti Ngata all that much in the game, but he's back for the Lions. He's been banged up all season. He hasn't looked healthy much of the year. Kendrick West stumbled but stayed on his feet as he crossed midfield, gets down close to the 48-yard line. Another third down The Chiefs have been real good on third downs in the game. 7 for 9 on their third down conversions.
That's lights out. I mean, that,
Yeah.
when you're 7 of 9, that's almost unheard of, and it's something that has been trending up. Last week we saw earlier in the game the Chiefs were much better, above 50%, and that's what they were doing last year when they won so many games, converting on third down.
3 receivers left. Smith in trouble. They've got a third sack of the game. Jason Jones takes him down.
Jason Jones, he's been consistent pressure on Alex Smith. He's working, he's running a stunt. Tardif late to come out and pop out on that stunt, and Alex Smith pays the price.
Loss of 7 on the play. And the Chiefs forced to punt. High kick by Dustin Colquitt. Fair catch waved for by Golden Tate at the 15-yard line. Detroit Lions trying to find something that will give them a spark. Right now it's been all. I think it takes a half an hour to make a complete rotation, but a great view of the city. From the 15-yard line, Joique Bell, the running back. Stafford puts it up for Calvin Johnson, and the catch is made along the sideline at the 24-yard line. Marcus Peters says no.
Let's take a look. If Marcus Peters is right, he may have a, let's see here. Calvin Johnson kind of bobbles this ball. I think Marcus Peters is right. I don't think he's in bounds. I think his left knee, when he fully did game control, was out of bounds. We'll see if Andy challenges it.
And no, I think they're going to play. No challenge, and the Lions get to play off. And Stafford hits Calvin Johnson on the left side. And another first down up at the 37-yard line.
You see Calvin Johnson working against Sean Smith, and I got to tell you, I don't know, whoever is the offensive coordinator. If I'm that offensive coordinator, I'm finding 81, and I'm finding creative ways to get it to him, and not just short passes. I'm getting it to him down the field because nobody does it better than Calvin Johnson, and they just haven't been able to get it to him down the field. His yards per catch down this year.
4 catches in this game, 55 yards. That pass intended for Golden Tate, but he was covered on the play by Josh Mauga. For the Lions, Matthew Stafford, a tough day. Hasn't passed for a whole lot of yards and has had 2 interceptions that has been turned into 10 points by the Chiefs. Joique Bell had 1 big run, 32 yards on the first possession of the game by the Lions. Theo Riddick in the backfield now with Matthew Stafford. Chiefs showing blitz. Quick outside, complete to Lance Moore. His first catch of the game up at the 43-yard line.
You see the success, looking at those numbers of Joique Bell. 7 carries, 56. You're up above 7 yards per carry. But when you're behind like they are, it's hard to consistently run the ball. They talked about wanting to run it 25, but when you're behind like this, that's why they've thrown it 70% of the time this year.
Third and 4. Stafford gets time, and he hits Golden Tate for a first down. Good throw, good catch. The Lions first down at the Chiefs' 41-yard line.
This is what you see from Matthew Stafford. I mean, he's just a natural, big-time thrower of the football. And that's why I think they're right when they're saying you want the quarterback comfortable. Jim Bob Cooter, One of the great quotes the other day when we were talking to him, if his experience, if the quarterback likes a play, he tends to make it work. And so trying to find things that Matthew Stafford likes and then protect him so he can use that great arm.
In trouble, down he goes. That time Justin Houston got right around the block of Adrian Waddle, and the sack, number 5 for the Chiefs.
Watch Justin Houston. This is why he doesn't get singled much, because when he does get singled, there's not much of a chance for Adrian Waddle. A poor job by Waddle, but that's Justin Houston, who had over 20 sacks last year. This year has had so much attention, but still has managed to come into today with 4 sacks. Really fine player.
Tough back-to-back weeks for Matthew Stafford. Sacked 7 times last week, 5 times today. Nice move by Theo Riddick. And gets inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Ron Parker with a stop. Riddick does an excellent job as a pass-receiving running back. We've reached the end of the 3rd quarter. The game still belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs. They lead it 31-3. The Lions on the move with a 3rd and 9. Sam Rosen, John Lynch, Pam Oliver, glad you're with us. On a special day, the International Series. It's late afternoon here. Late morning where you are. The blitz was on, and Stafford got rid of it in a hurry. Hussein Abdullah with a safety blitz forced Matthew Stafford to get rid of it.
Here comes Hussein Abdullah and his buddy Eric Berry. Great shot from Michael Tatamir. You see the blitzing safeties. Michael Tatamir, our fine cameraman from Detroit, Michigan. One of the best in the business.
All right. Way to make that trip. Here's 4th down for the Lions. Stafford. Oh, they got him. Sack number 6. Justin Houston and Tamba Hali from either side.
You can see why Andy Reid still likes his team. They're playing big-time football over here in London, are the Kansas City Chiefs. Great pass rush consists of pressure outside and push in the middle. And this is a great example of it. You got Justin Houston, Hali coming, Bailey and Howard pushing in the middle. Houston and Tamba Hali happy to split the sack.
Though you thought Houston had more of it, right?
Well, the official score here gave them a half each, and Tamba Hali got like part of the right heel. Justin Houston will be fighting for that on the trip back to the States, I promise you.
You said it on the way to commercial. The Chiefs are just playing a great game. And for the Lions, this has got to be a huge disappointment. But that's the way their season has gone. Andre Fluellen was shaken up on the last play. As we take a look at Justin Houston on the bench. There's Andre Fluellen walking off slowly. And the great disappointment for the Lions is with all the tumult that went on at the start of the week, they were hoping to play a solid game, and it hasn't happened.
Well, and I think what they're realizing, look, this worked for Jim Caldwell when he was in Baltimore. They went all the way to the Super Bowl when he replaced Cam Cameron late in 2012 in December. They're not having that same result right now because I think the issues are deeper. Offensively, I think a lot of it's offensive line. They get behind in these games. They can't pass protect really well. Matthew Stafford's been affected. He's not the same quarterback because he's been hit so much this year.
On the other side of the ball, the Kansas City Chiefs have been outstanding. Andy Reid, we mentioned in our talks with him, was so upbeat, talking about the young players they're playing and the growth of these players. And we've seen it on the field. Right here, Albert Wilson is taken down for no gains on the play. But so many of these younger players, and maybe the biggest thing, and as John mentioned, we saw the Chiefs a few weeks ago, their offensive line has really come together. They seem to have figured out who belongs in what position.
Well, they're a great example for the Detroit Lions because when your offensive line starts to play well, your quarterback plays a lot better. And we're seeing that with Alex Smith now playing very efficient football. They're running the football well. Credit to that offensive line for gelling together.
3rd and 8 for the Chiefs. Smith with time hits Jeremy Maclin, and he was hit by Abdul Kudus. Short of the first down.
I think a lot of nervous Chiefs fans right here because Maclin, remember, last week was out with the concussion. We see the big hit over the middle, but nice sign for the Chief fans that Maclin popped right back up from that hit.
Two famous Fordham men here. Abdul Kudus for the Lions. Fran Morrison, our producer. We got Fordham covered. Dustin Colquitt with a high punt. It bounces around the 10. The Chiefs touch it down. For the Detroit Lions, this is not what they had hoped for in their trip to London. Figured that one out. And there's plenty of traffic. Lions start from the 9-yard line. Stafford sacked 13 times in the last 2 games. Steps up and throws long, overthrows Calvin Johnson.
You know what, though, Sam? Matthew Stafford under pressure throughout the entire game, and that's a continuing theme that they're going to have to figure out. And ultimately, look, you can change coordinators, but those guys up front, you got to do a better job. And Matthew Stafford, he's got to do a better job of recognizing blitzes and getting rid of the football when he does. Of late, 13 sacks in 2 games. That's bad for a quarterback's health, bad for his mental state. It's just not good.
2nd and 10. Going short, Theo Riddick. And he's out of bounds, short of the 15. We go to Pam Oliver along the sideline.
Well, Sam, obviously it's been a very bad day for the Detroit Lions. Players are attempting to carry on with their jobs, but many just can't fake their dismay and extreme disappointment, I dare say. Watch the Lions offensive line trudge off the field after that last Stafford sack. Not a word was exchanged until the coaches came over to look at the pictures. We'll see how things go on this possession. Back to you.
Thanks, Pam. 3rd and 6. They're starting to chant. I think those are Chiefs fans chanting. Blitz coming. Quick pass to Lance Moore. Taken down short of the 15 by Tyvon Branch. Chiefs defense does a good job. Now we talk about the problems. John, what about the change they made with the offensive line coach, with Ron Prince taking over? How will he be able to make things better for them?
Well, again, tough midstream to do it, but Ron Prince is a no-nonsense. We saw it at practice. Believe me, he's no-nonsense. He's getting in those all-lineman faces. One thing Jim Bob Cooter, Ron Prince, tried to simplify the protection, make it much easier so it may not be perfect, but everyone's doing the same thing, and hasn't worked thus far today.
The Anthony Thomas got away, picks up a couple blocks, and he's brought down inside the 20-yard line. It looked like he was going down just after he caught the short punt from Sam Martin. But a great return down to the 13-yard line. 37-yard punt, 37-yard return.
Watch DeAnthony Thomas catch that punt. His own man comes into his lap. He sees the outside and turns on those jets. This guy has electric speed and quickness. We saw it at the University of Oregon. We're starting to see it as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Don Muhlbach, the long snapper, finally chased him down with a diving tackle. They spot the ball at the 16-yard line. But once again, everything going right for the Chiefs. They're doing everything right.
All 3 phases, they're dominating the Lions.
Sherman is in at fullback. West bounces it outside. The Lions stretch it out and take him down. Stephen Tulloch, the middle linebacker, with a tackle. Kansas City Chiefs will have a bye week coming up. Then in their remaining 8 games, second half of the season, They'll play only one team that currently has a winning record. That's the Denver Broncos.
And they'll have them right after the bye. You see the bye week at Denver. Remember, Denver tonight playing the Green Bay Packers. That will be a showdown. But the Chiefs, I think, sense that, you know what, we can't control Denver, but we can control ourselves, and we can keep the heat on them.
All receivers out. Alex Smith throws for the end zone. Touchdown! Jeremy Maclin with the grab. Boy, the Chiefs are machine-like in this game.
Well, nothing small ball about this. This is swinging for the fences. Alex Smith seeing the matchup he likes. Jeremy Maclin on Stephen Tulloch, the inside linebacker, throws it back shoulder down the seam, and Maclin hangs tough. That's just a dart by Alex Smith, who's played nearly a flawless game today.
Second touchdown pass thrown by Alex Smith. Smiles all around. Jeremy Maclin making his return after being inactive last week. And the extra point by Cairo Santos is good. They are having a wonderful trip to London. Jeremy Maclin with a catch.
Leaving Stephen Tulloch, the middle linebacker, to cover Jeremy Maclin. Tremendous play design by Andy Reid and his offensive staff, and you can't do it any better from Alex Smith to his top target, Jeremy Maclin.
Remember last season, the Chiefs didn't have a wide receiver catch a touchdown pass. Jeremy Maclin with his second of the season. Amir Abdullah on the return. Tries to get outside, and he's pulled out of bounds at the 22.
Well, the Lions came over to London early. The Chiefs came late. But the Chiefs are going to be leaving happy, and Calvin Johnson going right.
Don't scare the security people. Lions from the 22. Stafford puts it up deep for Calvin Johnson. Nice adjustment, great catch by Calvin Johnson against Sean Smith.
You know, I hate to say it, but that's the second time the entire game that they've gone down the field to this guy. When you throw it up to this guy, this can't be your entire offense, but it's a pretty good option to have. Just throw it up to 81, because good things happen when you do that. I think they need more of that in their offense.
Longest pass play of the game, 30-yard gain. Calvin with 5 catches, 85 yards. That pass is to Eric Ebron for a first down inside the 35. Derek Johnson covering on the play. 2 quick passes, and the Lions with no huddle on the move. Calvin Johnson testing his leg along the sideline, his ankle. Don't want to see that. Stafford going outside but too far for Corey Fuller.
Sam, the start of this drive, is, I've said it numerous times today, you look at this offensive group led by Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford, who can throw the football. He's got to be safer with it. Golden Tate, Eric Ebron. You have weapons all over. The offensive line has struggled mightily, and that's part of the reason. They throw the ball way too much. When you throw the ball that much, unless you're Tom Brady, who gets rid of it so quickly, it frankly doesn't matter. You're going to have issues in protecting your quarterback.
Stafford being rushed, goes short to Theo Riddick, shoved out of bounds by Hussein Abdullah. Short of the 30-yard line, spotted at the 32. Lions will be 1-7 at the halfway mark of the season after this game. What can Jim Caldwell do the remainder of the season to get this team going in the right direction?
Well, look, the past is the past, but let's not forget he was 11-5 last year. That makes this even more perplexing. So what I think the Ford family needs to see from Jim Caldwell is progress. You got to see that you've made these changes offensively. We're going to get better. Defensively, I think they have some major personnel deficiencies that they've got to address, and it's hard to do during the season.
Stafford took off on third down, slides down at the 26-yard line. They'll bring up a 4th down. Gain of 5 on the play.
You know, Sam, I speak about defensively, and the front has not been their problem. But remember, at one point, this defensive line featured Ndamukong Suh, Nick Fairley, Cliff Averill at one time was a part of this. I mean, they just came at you from every direction. They are not that force that they once were. And then DeAndre Levy, of course, being out.
That pass is caught for a 1st down. Good catch by Eric Ebron, who had trouble early in the game in the first half, holding on. That one he did. 1st down for the Lions at the 21-yard line. As they try to get something positive late in this game. Flushed out to Stafford. And he throws. And rolling into the end zone for a touchdown is Lance Moore.
We've seen Alex Smith utilize his mobility. Matthew Stafford says, I can do that as well. Stepping out of the pocket, then challenges. Peters drops coverage. He throws up to Lance Moore, who does roll in to the end zone for the Lions.
Third touchdown reception of the season for Lance Moore. Matthew Stafford with his 13th touchdown pass. And the extra point try by Matt Prater. So for the first time since the opening possession of the game, the Lions put points on the board. Matthew Stafford throwing to Lance Moore for the touchdown.
Cheeseheads are everywhere.
What a great time. Dolphins fans are here. They love their American football here in London. It's great. Onside kick try. It hit a Chief. And the Chiefs have it. It was loose for a moment. On the Lions sideline, Calvin Johnson being checked out by the medical staff, putting the shoe back on. That's a good sign. Word from Pam Oliver as they were looking at his left toe. As he tests it out. Chiefs at the Lions 41-yard line. And Chase Daniel is in the game at quarterback. Alex Smith had himself a great afternoon. Charkendrick West. And he is brought down at the 10-yard line. Great run. Glover Quinn saved a touchdown.
Well, what can you say about this offensive line that we haven't already? Watch the right side of this offensive line. Look at the gaping hole. Again, poor defense from the Detroit Lions, and Charkendrick West, he makes them pay.
32-yard run for Charkendrick West.
I was going to say, Jeff Triplett just caught it. Surprised we didn't see a horse collar, and they eventually did call that. Yeah, they did.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle. Number 27 defense. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Jim Caldwell wondering about that call.
You get a hold of that inside the jersey and that shoulder pad early area and yank down. That's very clear in the NFL rulebook these days. That is a penalty.
Ball is spotted 4.5 yards from the goal line. Charkendrick West has rushed for 97 yards in the game. Spencer Ware is in at running back now and takes it in. How about that? Spencer Ware comes in, gets the ball, and scores a touchdown. 4th rushing touchdown of the game for the Chiefs. Everybody sharing in the joy.
Just watch the offensive line. You see the pullers, you see the movement of that line of scrimmage, and Spencer Ware really unimpeded until the end, and then he fights his way in. This offensive line for the Chiefs playing big, big big-time football.
3 weeks ago, he was on the practice squad. Here he is scoring a touchdown in London, his first NFL touchdown for Spencer Ware. He'll keep that ball as well he should. Young man out of LSU. Chiefs continue to have themselves an outstanding game. The extra point by Cairo Santos is good. 45-10. Stay with us. Great day on Fox. More football coming up. America's Game of the Weekend. Then Game 5 of the World Series. The Mets trying to stay alive. They must win. They'll send Matt Harvey to the mound against Edinson Volquez, who will try to wrap it up for the Kansas City Royals for their first championship in 30 years.
If I'm Matt Harvey, you know what I'm doing on the first pitch?
Yeah.
High and tight, baby. Work for Syndergaard. I know everyone in Kansas City doesn't like that, but yeah, you got to go high and tight.
That should be something. Great football coming up. Stay with Fox. We've got the Ford pregame show coming up, and then a full day of afternoon games, and then America's Game of the Week, Green Bay at Denver, and then the World Series. That's where it's at, right here. What a day. What a day it's been in London. 83,624 here at Wembley Stadium. Cairo Santos. Cairo Santos had the one game where Kansas City lost and he kicked 7 field goals. And he said, I'd rather would have kicked 7 extra points. Well, he's kicked 6 extra points today. He's had himself a fine day. The fans here in London, we've talked about it all day long. They really enjoy the American football. The NFL has extended their deal to play more games here in London. They're building or refurbishing a stadium to add games. It's a tremendous situation.
No, there's a big-time commitment on behalf of the league to here in London, and you understand why now being here. I wasn't a believer. I'm a believer now. I think football works over here. The fans love it. I think it's great to expand the breadth of our game, and they've really taken to it here.
Timeout.
As we mentioned, the league this week announced that they have extended their agreement here in London. There will be games, regular season games here at Wembley for an additional 5 years, and 2 games per season until 2020. And the Jaguars, they want a game here every year. Then Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we talked about that. That will open up in 2018, and the deal there is for 2 games per season for 10 years. It's exciting times. The International Series adding to the growth of the NFL. Matthew Stafford waiting, finds Theo Riddick at the 23. Certainly wish this game had been more competitive. It started out that way. Lions took the opening kickoff of the game, had a good drive, got a field goal. Chiefs answered back, but then after that, it's been all Kansas City. And a credit to what they've done in the last couple of weeks. The win over Pittsburgh last week, and this one coming against Detroit. Down to Pam Oliver along the sideline.
Well, Sam, obviously a big key to the Lions offense, Calvin Johnson. He is on the sideline, has his helmet off, does not look like he's going to come back in. They say he has an ankle injury and is questionable. Back to you.
Thanks, Pam. Don't want to risk Calvin Johnson with a game one-sided. Sean Smith with the coverage on Corey Fuller. Now this was Calvin Johnson going to the sideline after his last reception and feeling some pain, no doubt, and then got checked out by the medical staff.
Obviously want Calvin Johnson right. He's such a big part of what these Detroit Lions do, and I think should become even a bigger part under this new offensive regime.
Sam Martin's punt Anthony Thomas is taken down at the 34-yard line. There's some great college football coming your way. The best football game in America this Thursday on FS1. Second-ranked Baylor, 7-0, take their high-powered offense against Kansas State. The only place to see all the action Thursday night on FS1. Baylor's got a good team.
Oh, they put up some points. They lost that quarterback, but they still put up 60 every week.
Alex Smith has had himself quite a day. 18 for 26, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 78 yards running and 1 rushing touchdown. Chase Daniel in the game. Second series. Let's see if they can get Charkandrick West another 100-yard game at 110 yards last week. Jeremy Macklin's return, certainly significant. Always the threat. Caught a touchdown pass, 3 catches in the game.
Jeremy Maclin, a huge addition to this team. He talked about no touchdowns to the wide receivers last year. He provides that, and I thought it was a fairly risk-free free agent acquisition. So much in free agency is, does the guy fit? Yeah, he's fit elsewhere, but with Jeremy Maclin, you knew from previous experience with Andy Reid and that staff in Philly that he was a perfect fit for the offense.
That run by Charkandrick West puts him over 100 yards. Oh, excuse me, it was Niall Davis. I was hoping for him. Yeah. Niall Davis getting some playing time. It was interesting when we were with Andy Reid a few weeks back, and they talked about Jamal Charles, and they said if anything happens to Jamal Charles, Charkandrick West, not Niall Davis, would be the man to step in, and he followed that plan, and West has done a good job in back-to-back weeks here.
Yeah, he has, and he's certainly earned that starting position. Near 100 yards. He went over 100 last week versus Pittsburgh.
That pass complete to Chris Conley, who caught his first NFL touchdown pass last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Time winding down in this one, under 4 minutes to go. Today's game produced by Fran Morrison, directed by Artie Kempner, Associate Director Eric Mandia, the broadcast associate Tyler Dare, technical producer Clyde Taylor, technical director Tom Maslach. Pre-game show was produced by Bill Richards, directed by Stephanie Medina. Jeff Nelson, our statistician in the booth. Mitch Smith, our spotter in the booth. Great job by all of them. We thank everyone for their great help. Brian Dwyer, who's helped us immensely.
I don't know what he does, but he does everything for me over here. Anywhere.
He makes sure everybody's in the right place at the right time.
Great job. We got a tremendous crew.
Well, thanks to everyone. I'm finishing up a 4-week stint with this group, and Kevin Burkhardt will be back next week. And what a joy to be with you guys, John.
It's always great when you come on over, Sam. We appreciate it.
Now you take it home the second half of the season. We'll go see Bill Belichick and the Patriots next week. Anthony Thomas taken down. Good weapons that Andy Reid has with Kansas City, right? A good variety of weapons.
He sure does. I think one of the things Alex Smith said to me in our conversation this week, last week Maclin was out. It forced him to utilize some of these younger weapons, Chris Conley, Albert Wilson, and DeAnthony Thomas. And now he said, now what I've got to do now that I have Maclin back, continue to trust these guys and throw to the open receiver. A lot of weapons for Alex Smith in Kansas City.
Lions have a player shaken up on the play. We'll step out for a moment. Thank you for your service.
Well said, Sam. And I can't tell you how many times I'm in airports, I'm around town, wherever I'm at, and these guys come up and they say thank you. And I say, no, thank you. But they love this. This is a great getaway from them to watch football. They're all fans. It's tremendous.
Josh Wilson was the injured player for the Lions. Chiefs with the ball. Chase Daniel handing to Spencer Ware, and Ware across midfield. We've reached the 2-minute warning. The Kansas City Chiefs wrapping up what will be a win. London was calling, John. We had an answer.
And the Chiefs came and answered. I mean, they really did. They came and played themselves a football game today.
That punt by Dustin Colquitt comes to rest at the 7-yard line. And the Lions will have one more turn with the football. Both teams off next week. Dan Orlovsky comes in. This is just the start of a great day. Glad you spent your morning with us on Fox. Look at those games coming up. Giants and Saints. That'll be a good one. Then America's Game of the Week. Seahawks and Cowboys. Don't miss that one. Des Bryant back for the Cowboys. Russell Wilson leading the Seattle Seahawks. The handoff to Theo Riddick. Short gain. Both teams bye week next week. The Lions will go back in action the week after at Green Bay. Don't forget, coming up next is the Ford pregame show. You see the standings in the NFC North. Green Bay 6-0, Minnesota 4-2. Vikings are having themselves a good start to the season.
Mike Zimmer's done a really, really nice job there in Minnesota. His team playing real hard and playing really well for him.
Orlovsky dropping it off to Theo Riddick. Takes a hard hit from Raheem Nunez-Roches, number 99. As we wind down, the Chiefs will be 3-5, putting together back-to-back wins after a 5-game losing streak. And as we mentioned, they come out of the bye against Denver and then play teams that currently do not have winning records.
Man, they got to love the opportunity because you have the bye week to get healthy and make that last run. Perfect timing for your bye week. Then you go against the team that's ahead of you in the Denver Broncos, who have a real tough game tonight against the Green Bay Packers.
The pass tip falls incomplete. D. Ford got a piece of it. Oh, and by the way, Michael Strahan and Howie Long are in the studio.
They finally woke up, huh?
Congratulations to Andy Reid. As you see the record there, Oakland at 3-3, Denver at 6-0. Denver with that big game tonight against the Green Bay Packers. It's been a great day here in London. Great trip. And the Kansas City Chiefs made the most of it as they wrap up an impressive 45-10 win led by Alex Smith. 2 touchdown passes and a running touchdown for Alex Smith. For John Lynch, for Pam Oliver, this is Sam Rosen. Thanks for being with us. We'll take you to Los Angeles for the Ford Fox NFL Sunday pregame show after these messages.